Hi guys, welcome to the second episode of Vox Chatter, the new 40k podcast. It's everything to do with Warhammer 40,000, Games Workshop and everything else that we just get up to. Today I've got with me Brett, and we've also got Joel with us here today.
Hiya.
So last time we did this, we were literally on the verge of the release of 8th edition, and we've since got our grips to it, and we're I think it's fair to say we're enjoying it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Although I'm enjoying an army that I didn't... I've had an army resurgence. It's like been brought back out from the dead.
which was that one?
My... Now, Tempestus Scions.
Which were previously like
Just
Guard
like
veterans,
guard
weren't they?
veterans. They're made out of the Inquisitorial Stormtrooper models from like 1990s. I've got like 80 of them.
They're really nice, those ones though. Like
Break.
One piece models, yeah.
Yep.
The chip, because they're the old metal. But yeah, they never break. Not like my Minotaurs, the Space Marine chapter that got glued in with the dodgy Games Workshop glue period, and I have to ceremoniously sit down and rebuild my entire army. I went to move this model and his chest plate's fallen off from his back unit and my Terminator face has fallen out of the body, and it's like,
Yeah.
how has this ever happened?
My Red Corsairs are horrendous. Do you remember the Terminator whose chest fell out, but his arms and back and head stayed in place?
Yeah, I had one where his breastplate fell out and his head was still glued to the back of the back plate. It's like, how did that even happen?
What do we think of 8th edition as a whole?
I think it's brilliant. It's really like breathed a new light into it. It's given it a bit more energy. I like it. I like everything that's changed. A few things are a bit confusing, but I do think it's like made the hobby a lot better.
Is that just like 7th edition mentality though? So it's like you're used to something working in one way, you need to get used to it in this new way.
Yeah, like the fact that you don't have to overheat a plasma gun, so you can
Yeah.
always fire your plasma gun if you really want to.
The removal of formations is a big thing.
Like, I think
Because
that's
you had
awesome.
formations before where they were just completely OP. I mean, we were late into 7th because we were just sort of in a break from Warhammer, just getting on with other things in our lives. Just at that point where we all had a lot going on. Then when we came into it and we were looking at the formations and we didn't fully understand how they worked, and it was just like when I had a look at my Tau to see what formations they fitted into, and then it was just like two aligned perfectly, and then we started playing with them, and they're just the power level of me having two formations that accommodated my army, just like on transferring that to the battlefield, it was just like nigh on unbeatable.
Well, it weren't unbeatable, was it, Brett?
Well, nothing's unbeatable when you can't fail saves.
That's true.
Nothing dies if it gets 2+ save and you pass all 182 plus saves.
No, I failed to.
Yeah,
guys
well,
died. I think I only lost the Dread Knight and like 5 Terminators in that game.
but now the difference is that my battle suits have like tripled in price, which is good. Not.
No, still playing Tau.
It's really funny.
I mean,
it's,
I think it's
yeah,
great that
it's
they
so
definitely they sorted the power level. The points cost 4 Tau. They seem to have gone overboard with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like down to the battles, but I haven't played a game with them yet, so it's a bit hard to say because I know that now our toughness 5 3 wounds, but you're paying a lot of points, and I'm not sold on toughness 5.
I've played with the Death card, and I don't rate the Plague Marines in this edition.
No, so toughness 5 only matters against strength 4.
And Strength 10.
And arguably,
there's
yes,
no-
strength 5 only wounds you on 4s, but bolt guns are then hitting you, are wounding you on the same as a las gun,
Yeah.
and you get a lot more strength 3 weaponry than you do strength 4 for the points. So like when you compare a guardsman to a space marine, they're suddenly going to be getting a lot more you know, they're going to be getting the same amount of wound ratios like what Marines
you've got a
are.
lot more guys than you've got a lot more Marines.
And you've got a lot less suits.
Yeah,
so
true.
there's more firepower hitting less men.
What I really like is the fact that your suits have got more expensive, but my paladins have not. And they've got an extra wound. It's like, here you go, have another wound.
So, I think
I went from having an 1850 point list to 3k.
overnight without adding any models.
Yeah. To be fair, I think my arm's going to be up a bit.
It's the broadsides that get me. How do you go from being a 65 point model with smart missile systems and high yield missiles to 205?
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a 310% price increase.
Yeah, I were mind boggled by it just when I was reading the new rules and the wounds characteristics. I were going through, my Dread Knight is basically 4 wounded, massive Terminator. No, he's now got 14 wounds or something.
Yeah, it's better than a squad of Terminators. It comes in at the same price. It doesn't deteriorate.
Nope.
It doesn't lose fire output when you'd be losing Terminators.
Nope.
It's harder to wound, it's faster moving, and it deals out more damage. And there's some things, and I think that's always going to be the case in Warhammer, is...
Why would you ever take a Dreadnought when you can take a Dread Knight?
But
why would
to
you
be
take a squad of
fair,
Terminators?
one of the things that I think has improved a lot with the unit entries in this edition is there's nowhere near as much of that. So there's a lot more things now where you look at army books and army lists, and nearly every unit is actually viable as a battlefield unit now. You don't look at things and just go, oh look, my Dark Eldar Scourgers would never be used. My Space Marine Conversion Beamer on a Tech Marine would never see use. There's no point in being in the book in 7th edition. Now, there's stuff where pretty much everything kind of has a use if you want to use it.
And I suppose it depends as well, because we're not competitive players, so yes, you're always going to get your... I just like to take 5 Storm Ravens and watch as my opponent gets tabled on turn 1 because I enjoy that aspect of the hobby. Yeah, I used to do tournament scene back, probably 6 years ago, when it was the standard 2 true... Yeah, not start 7, 6, start of 6, yeah. However long, that might have been 8 years ago.
Yeah, I went to a few and got my ass.
And, that kind of feels like maybe where tournaments are again, but since then they've included all the big stuff, and it's pushed a power level more than I'm happy to play with, so we just play friendly now.
Well, the tournament scene now seems to be not like... It was very much like a regimented, here's my equal amount of tanks with 2 Vendettas, 2 Hydras, 4 Chimeras, 4 units of veterans. Now it's just, I'll just take
5 Storm Ravens and
Guilliman, yeah. It's just not, that's not an army in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm very much an old school, here's my troops, here's my men.
I can't stand when I see any Imperial army list that features more than 1 Imperial Knight.
Yeah.
I immediately look at it and go, that's not an army.
That's an Imperial Knight.
That's that's some Imperial Knights on a battlefield.
Yeah.
And I get the Imperial Knight is a cool model. It's got a lot of nice narrative stuff
really
to it.
like it.
I remember reading the original Mechanicum Horus Heresy book where they're featured for one of the major points of the narrative before they had models. And it was this idea of a single pilot, basically mini Titan is really cool, and it sounded really cool in the novels. And I can see one on the battlefield, marching around with some Imperial forces.
Not a squad of 5.
Not when that's your army and you show up with it.
Hey, it gets better. You could do a 2k army with 2 Gorkonauts.
No.
Gorkonauts are cool, but I want an army. I want some orcs on the table. I don't want 2 Gorkonauts.
80 wounds, mate. Toughness 8.
No, you mean Stompers?
Stompers, sorry.
Me and Kyle worked out it were for 1800 you could have 2 Gorkonaut, a Morkonaut, a Gorkonaut, a Stomper, 20 boys in a mech.
I was going through...
Hang on. Do you want to know for a Tau? Are you ready? I could have 3 Riptides, 4 Broadsides.
Yep. What Riptides though? Oh, don't get me started on that. Do you know what?
They're not good. I don't rate them anymore.
That's why I'm happy about 8th, because I disliked Riptides highly.
I did the tough and they've got a damage output. They don't hit.
Now the need of
they
that
don't
points
wound.
hike. The need of the points hike. To have a Riptide for 200 points or maybe 100.
They were so dirt cheap.
100. I whenever I played my tower, I always took bare bones, so then I could just cram as much as I can in, and then.
This is actually a big point. I was talking to Kyle about this morning. One of the big changes, I think, and probably the biggest change I've found with all my armies that I play from 7th to 8th. 7th edition was all about getting as much as you could in your list. So you went bare bones, you bought minimum stuff, you didn't buy the fancy upgrades and the war gear. Because all your point efficiencies for your competitive play was you got more value out of the gear you got for the base points of a guide than you did by adding the extra points to the extra war gear.
Yep.
This edition, I think that's completely changed. While it still remains true that you can get more for your points, you don't get the point efficiency anymore.
But
the rank and file guys don't do the same job.
Before, you'd buy a power weapon and you could choose power sword, power axe, power maul, and it was 15 points. It's now 4.
Yeah.
Because before you'd be like, well, why am I ever going to spend 15 points on this weapon when my guy's probably not even going to make it to combat because it's on a standard tactical marine sergeant.
Sergeant with a power fist that'll never strike first. Chaos Marine Sergeant, I love power fists, I think they look awesome. I always have to challenge, I'm going to die before I get hit.
So I always loved the look of power fists on Space Marines, but never took them.
But now you go, I've worked out my armor list and I've got 40 points left. Right, I'm going to throw some power swords on some guys. Yeah. I'm going to start doing this. Because 4 points, you're like, yeah, my sergeant will have power sword for 4 points.
Yeah. Exactly, but that's part of why I think it's awesome for this edition as well now, where before you'd be like, I want to have this sergeant who happens to have a power fist because he looks cool. I've got a really nice model, it looks awesome. But when you get to the gameplay, you're like, but it's like 25 points or whatever to give this guy's power
no
fist.
Extra attack.
And he's never going to really use it effectively.
Yeah.
Now, you go 10 points, or 12 points I think they're in the new Marine book out.
Yeah,
12 points for a power fist. It's like, hell yeah, I want to use this guy who's got a power fist. And he looks cool, and I want to lead in my units. I'll put him in there. And he's going to get to use it. He gets to swing with it now.
The veteran
because combat comes round so quick.
It's like, you get to use something you want to use. You get to play it on the field. It gets to actually do something, not just be pointless. And, okay, fine, maybe putting a power fist on your tactical marine sergeant isn't the most point efficient thing if you want to go to if you want to go to like a competitive environment.
No.
But if you're just wanting to play for the enjoyment of the game, you're more than happy to throw those 12 points on him rather than the 4-point power sword.
Well, I only run one tactical marine unit in my army.
One tactical marine.
Yeah,
he's roaming around. He's the intern of all the Primus.
Yeah, well, it's primarily the normal marines, and he has actually got a power fist. Because
it feels like normal marines are like gash now compared to
I don't know,
Primus marines.
when all your veterans are toting plasmas, I think that's pretty good.
Or your heavies are all toting plasmas.
I said normal marines.
Oh, veterans are good. Veterans in Razorbacks are awesome.
Yeah, because they're 2 attacks each.
Because they're veterans.
3.
And they've got special guns. Whereas the normal tactical marine.
There's one attack and won't go, which doesn't even minus anything off his save.
So I have a Minotaur's army, and I probably have about 100 marines.
Yeah, back from days of the Banner of Devastation. Let's just get the actual bulwark of guys at bolt guns.
And then from there I went on to... I've changed it a bit, but I've been trying to get a company. So I weren't far off having a company, and I played a couple of games with them, and it just does nothing.
Thing is, tactical marines are still pretty cheap.
When would you charge 40 Space Marines into how many Plague Bearers were it?
Well, it was like one unit of about 20 by the time you got to combat.
After I gunned it down and got to it, so
there was at least 21.
So turn 1 you move forward, then I shot you with 2 Razorbacks with twin assault cannons. 40 re-rolling all failed to hit Space Marines because we're still in Morlock. 2 veteran squads also got in there into combat, 2 5-man veteran squads, and it was 30 tactical marines. After 3 turns of combat, I'm just having a stellar Morlock standing on the corpse of everybody.
I was there that day when you played both those games, and both games was like you charged into the breach of like 60 odd tactical marines, and all that was ever left was him stood there, either brawling with some greater demon or like needlessly stabbing a land raider, just refusing to die. But like he's just stood on a pile of tactical marines who achieved very little.
Gone are the
bolt
days.
guns don't do
Gone are the days of tactical marines being able to take on all foes.
Threes to hit, re-rolling, so you get a lot of hits. 4's to wound, and then you just go take whatever saves you've got.
That is right. It's like you don't mind the saves. Primaris marines are just.
Is one of my things. When I play the Death Guard, it's just the standard Death Guard tactical squad, effectively.
The Plague Marines.
The Plague Marines. Yeah. So units of 7 keeps your points cheap, keeps it narrative, keeps it feed. You've got a few more bodies than 5. It feels like a nice place to be with them. And you sit there and go, cool, I've got 1 plasma gun. What does 6 bolt guns gain you? What are you firing 6 bolt guns at to achieve anything on the battlefield?
No, but if you
can be firing at the most perfect target. You're firing at Termagants, or something.
That horde of 30 that are now taken of you're really gonna slow that. Oh, and then you're in combat. Then your 7 guys are getting wounded like normal marines.
Yeah,
because your toughness 5, their strength 3, wound you on 5. You might as well be toughness 4.
Even the guardsmen, where my big advocate in the past has been bring all the las guns ever. The las guns still do more or less what they did in the last edition, in that they net you a few extra kills here and there, but that's it. The fact that you bring 100 las guns to the game doesn't mean that you're going to be winning the game because of your 100 las guns.
No, but back in the day, bolt guns did because of AP 5.
Yeah, and I think they've made bolt guns no AP because they've given Primus Marines -1.
Yes, I agree, totally agree. But if the problem is if they get bolters -1, they'd have to give Primaris Marines something like a strength 5, but then heavy bolters would be underpowered, so it all sends everything out of motion.
I've always looked at the free weapons I look at to get a sense of where they want to go when they want to add something special or fancy or roll something. Your bolt gun is obviously your baseline weapon.
Yeah.
Your Fire Warrior pulse rifle tends to usually be a strength 5 bolt gun, typically.
Strength 5 AP 5, 30-inch range.
Range varies a little bit sometimes, so depending on edition, it might be better if they get a 15-inch rapid or if it was a 12-inch rapid, depending on the edition they were in. The other one, the other end of the scale, is the Necron Gauze Flayer. It's a bolt gun, but you have the Gauze rule.
Or the Eldar
don't get me started.
shuriken weapons. So they have really low range. They always used to be strength 4,
but they're assault weapons at short range by comparison to a bolt gun.
Yeah, so they used to always feel like a bolt gun on rapid fire because they were.
But they didn't have long range capacity, not in the same way.
Because to assault too.
Now, in this edition, the Necron Gauze Flayer is literally a bolt gun, but it's got AP -1.
Yeah, so it feels like.
Because that's what Necrons do. Where Tau are, we have higher strength weapons, typically. Yeah. Necron is we have better AP weapons, but are typically more in line with Imperial strength.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just don't feel that a strength 4 gun on a strength 4 toughness 4 body does anything.
I think the loss of +1 attack for charging is huge to tactical marines.
Yeah.
That is one of the things that's really impacted them. You charge your 10-man tactical squad in perfect condition. Your sergeant's got whatever he has, fine. Your other 9 guys get 9 attacks.
Hitting on 3s, depending what your target is, wounding on 3s or 4s. Well, I'll just take the game I had against James's Iron Warriors. So my ski-on list, in that I run 4 Chimeras, and I've just decided, I did originally run them with multi-laters heavy bolters, and found that they did nothing.
No, the game I had against you, they were just scratching things, they weren't really doing anything.
Where you used to be able to sit there and shoot and finish off some tanks with your strength 5 and 6 shots, like glance them to death or whatever. There's still no damage, so I've recently swapped them to heavy flamers, and they're amazing now. But so I've got loads of squads of veterans everywhere, and I popped his tank with my last bit of firepower, so then I couldn't really kill the Iron Warriors inside. He then moves up, shoots my skills that are in cover, so they had a 3+ save. Bounced off me because they were basically like shooting marines with bolt guns. I think I lost 1 to shooting because I got quite good on my saves. Charges in, does his. I killed 1 on the charge, so he did his 11 attacks, I think it was. Killed 2 veterans. I did my attacks back, did nothing, moved out of combat, issued an order for them to shoot, gunned them down. And it's like, wow, that felt like them Chaos Space Marines should have just absolutely walked through 10 effective, like guardsmen.
In the old edition, because I'm a Chaos Space Marine player, I ran the Marine spam, didn't I? And everyone had a chainsaw bolt pistol, and I charged in, and one unit of 10, they had 3 attacks each. Oh no, they had Mark of Corn, so they had 1 basic, combat weapon, charge, they had 4 attacks each. They'd wipe, they could kill Terminators by themselves, but now, they don't do anything.
All that said, is that these are changes which make the rank and file less effective, but that makes the game better.
Yeah,
I find like that actually is that's my whole point with this is now you're in a world where your bolt gun isn't good enough, but your plasma gun is only 7 points or something.
Yeah,
it's like, well, now you actually see the effectiveness of the specialists.
Well, that's something that with the last edition, it felt bad when you're taking models off, or a lot of models off. 8th edition, you've just got to get used to it. Yeah, that's just how the game is.
When a las cannon can inflict 6 wounds on something.
when a Sakaran battle tank looks at a fully unwounded Chimera and then it ceases to exist.
Yeah, or when it looks at my Dreadnought and just removes it from existence.
Demon Prince charges a Vendetta, rips it out of the sky. And it's just like, unwounded Vendetta, pull it down.
Or differently, if someone fails to charge my Plasma Squad with a Demon Prince, 1 unit of Hellblasters is going to take it off.
Or when a unit of 30 Orcs uses a command point to counter offensive a full unit of 30 Bloodletters that has just charged them,
and they just rip them to bits.
And the Orcs killed 26 of the Bloodletters.
No.
Wow.
When a squad of 10 Scions, which I give no special weapons to, so they can make most of the first rank fire, second rank fire, shoots a squad of 30 Slaanesh Demonettes, guns 15 of them down. Another squad just fires just to whittle the numbers down, and because he's got to use because he's now got no command points left, they just all die.
Die from instability.
Just all fail to morale.
Yeah, morale.
Which I was going to say is one of the questions I was going to ask is, what is your favourite single change from 8th to 7th? Now I'll give you both. Yeah, I'll give you both like a moment to think about.
I know straight away.
Go on then. What is it?
I've said for years and years that I did not like how vehicles worked compared to monstrous creatures.
Yeah, you're going to bring up the Dreadnought.
So you could have a Carnifex and a Dreadnought. Narratively, they were always compared the same. You'd read books, and a Carnifex and Dreadnought could go toe to toe. A Dreadnought could kill Carnifex and come off damaged, but come off still fighting. But when you put that to the tabletop, that would never happen, ever. The Carnifex would just eat the Dreadnought every time.
Yeah.
The fact that your vehicles took damage, so your Dreadnought would have, before they brought in the wound system, could get immobilised, weapon destroyed, can't shoot, can't move. So
weapon.
The thing that the vehicle's made for war, it can't even do right, because it either isn't shooting, it's not moving, it's then gets immobilised and is permanently stuck in place. It gets its combat arm blown off and then gets stuck in combat, so it can never kill anything. And it was just like, what? Whereas the Carnifex is like, oh, I'm on 1 wound, I've just run through that tactical squad, now I'm just looking at the running through the next one. And and then they looked at sorting that by giving them the hull points. But again, hull points just felt like, so all I need to do in this edition is launch it to death.
Yeah, the whole problem with hull points, in my opinion, was strength 6 weaponry. Your Dreadnought just died to multi-laser fire every time. Yeah,
nothing ever exploded that often.
No, it just crumbled. Which is why the Explode result in the new one, being a 6, just feels like that's as much as it happened in the last edition.
Yeah, but so the amount of times I forget about that, though, it's like, oh, you killed my vehicle and I have to see if it kills any guys around it. It's not going to happen that very often, but it's surprising how much damage it does.
So for me, the change that I like the most is putting vehicles in line with monsters. You can straight up compare.
I think this was also the biggest change for veterans to get used to. Anyone that had played the game previously, that was such a defining difference going from armour values to having a creature stat line.
The weirdest one is getting used to facings where guns fire from. Guns just fire from any point of the tank.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you get people going, what? Can that actually... Yeah.
In that game against you, you fired...
I love the fact that I don't have to spend time considering my facings. I just go, I'm leaving rust there.
Yeah.
Just move it.
No, and it makes sense because it's not...
You're going to pivot your tank, to fire.
Yeah, your game of 40k isn't being played like snapshots, like at the end of movement, like someone took a picture and said, oh, that's where the enemy positions are right now. It's to represent the...
No, you're not chessing it,
it's meant to represent the... Yes, my tank has moved from point A to point B where it's finished, but it might have turned right in that. It might have drove on into like that turn to... Yeah, it's not just literally gone, I'll drive straight forward, or I've just exposed my weakest points to the tank to...
Yeah, a tank commander would never do that. He'd never expose his flanks, and if he's got side guns, he'd never turn to a point where his guns can't fire.
And so my biggest one is I like the changes that they've done to tanks. They've made the rules simple. You don't have to look at 50 pages in your rule book to see what a transport does, what a skimmer does, what a flyer does. My facing arcs, how I actually disembark out of a tank, how far can I be away from the axis, how far can I not, what happens when my tank drives through terrain, what happens if it's immobilised, what happens if it's gets charged.
It's just all so much simpler.
Can it over? Yeah, and you've just got rid of all them rules and just gone. Like, these.
My Rhino now behaves like a carnifex, which is fine. It works so much better.
Yeah, I get to make attacks in combat, but I'm hitting on a 6 because I'm literally trying to drive effectively trying to drive a house over you.
Well,
if you're going to see the house coming, and you're probably going to be able to move out of the way.
Unless you are a very determined guardsman with Flamer who decides to stare down the Land Raider that's crawling at 3 inch a turn, just running him over Looney Tunes style, like steamroller.
Stop.
It's like, but you mentioned it earlier about like the change of things with flyers and so on, and my favourite change, it's a small one but I just love it, is the fact that units with fly can assault flyers.
Yeah.
So your tile battlesuit can leap up into the air and punch a Vendetta. A Demon Prince can dive on a Storm Raven. Storm Boys, like an actual mob of Storm Boys or Assault Marines, can dive on whatever thing's flying by.
That is very real because you've played the Space Marine game on Xbox and you're in a Valkyrie shooting at Storm Boys and they're trying to attack your vehicle and you're shooting at. So it's like he's right.
Last edition, I liked Vector Strike as a rule because I just found it cool and narrative, but it never came into play in any significant way.
Unless you had a Helldrake and maybe you might do it every now and again.
Yeah, but it didn't even achieve much. It was kind of like, just swat that vehicle, blasting it off maybe.
You just burn the unit you want to
but now,
kill, you just burn them to
a Helldrake gets its claws on the Vendetta and he just pulls it apart.
It's effectively the dragon of the 41st millennium.
Yeah. I as an extended version of my point is I love the way the Helldrake works now. It's not because when they originally made the model, it felt like we're going to make the Chaos Talon, that Forge World does, but we don't want to make the Chaos Talon because that's going to take all the sales away from Forge World. Yeah. So we need to make a Chaos Space Marine flyer, make it a dragon, but it behaves exactly like an aircraft. It's got the wings out and they're all powered. It literally flies like the Talon. All it does is just got a gun that happens to be on a neck, sort of thing. Whereas now it doesn't. Now they feel more like a flying hive tyrant. They feel like a monstrous creature that's got wings.
They feel like what they are.
Yeah,
it's like a mechanical demon.
Yeah, they feel like a flying monster.
Basically encased in a machine, and that's how they act. A bit like animated dead, if it was an undead dragon.
Yeah,
that's how it feels like. It's just rather than it just being
it doesn't feel like it just flies around in the sky.
Rather than a transformer.
Yeah, it's not flying around in the sky
because
it's a jet.
Woo! Now I'm going to go into not being a jet.
Whereas now it just feels like it's just a dragon just flying around the sky, landing on the ground, chewing up units, and then it sees something, some prey in the air it needs to go for, so it takes off again and just goes and harasses it. I love that. It works well in gameplay, and it makes so much narrative sense that I love it.
While you're talking about flyers, though, the thing that I think feels like the biggest... trying to think the opposite of what they wanted to get from it is the best anti-fire weapons are flamers.
Yeah, it's a weird one, that one, isn't it? Game rules say this, and yet narratively just doesn't work out.
I'll
Look,
just-
does
I'll
this
just drive
get there? What should we do? Fire the flamethrower.
I'll drive this Chimera up to your Helldrake and fire 2 heavy flamers into you. Oh, okay, automatically hit.
Here's my Hydra anti-air mounted gun emplacement. Here's my flamer, it's more accurate.
Those planes are flying mighty low.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that you're probably only going to get to flame it once, and then it's probably going to move the 40 million inches.
And it's not going to do a million damage to it either.
No,
it's
but
a
if you knock a
flyer.
couple
But it
more,
just
like,
gets the fact that I'm
boots
just
on
going to shoot this flamer 8 inches on the floor or 50,000 feet in the air.
Yeah. It's like, it's not 8 inches true direction, it's like 8 inches blueprint line along the floor, therefore auto hits.
Yeah.
Up in the sky, we don't care. Do you have one, Joel? Do you have a favourite change?
It's difficult because I like it all.
Which is great. It's like, it's whether that's the case,
really
isn't
good.
it?
I'm usually the group whiner and I whine about everything. Fair, I like everything. Do you know what I like about it? You brought it up earlier. The units you didn't think you could use, you can use. Chaplains in the old edition were absolute turd. Proper turd. But now, how much work does my chaplain do in my game?
I just like the fact that you've got
He
the
inspires a
banner bearers.
predator. That's my favourite thing.
What?
He inspires a predator.
Yeah,
It's like, get rerolls to hit in combat. Why? Because I say so, but you're a tank.
yeah. But
Well, the one that
it's so funny.
I like that there's banner bearers
Yeah, apothecaries.
and company champions. So
Yeah,
for me,
stuff
that
like that.
leads that you're gonna get in the future. I think they're gonna do special character banner bearers, company champions, and apothecaries.
I think that's the one thing that I like, to answer your question. Characters.
You like doing characters work now?
Yes, but not just HQ characters like apothecaries and banner bearers and stuff like that. Having an apothecary on bike buzzing around helping people.
The fact that apothecary actually reses people back, or if it doesn't, it harvests the gene seed.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah,
no brother, you're too far gone. I'm sorry.
My favourite one that's changed in those little ways is the Imperial Guard Commissar. I love the fact that one, he's an elite choice. So it's like, he's not part of the chain of command. I'm just showing up because I'm literally here as support. And the way the summary execution works, if anyone fails morale and the unit's going to flee, just one guy runs away because it's the one guy he shoots. It's like, no one's actually run away. We've suffered one casualty because the commissar shot one.
We turned around to go run away and there were an angry commissar stood there, so one guy got exploded and we carried on fighting.
It works so neatly, and this is an example of how it works so neatly. Is like a week before, like the main rules were out and they were spoiling how morale worked and like other phases. I said to Kyle, morale seems really obvious to me of the two armies I play, how it's going to work in these two instances. One, I said straight away, orc units are just going to have leadership value equal to their unit size. There's no cap.
Old school.
It's just going to literally be however many models you have, that is your leadership value, because then you're going to have to take out 50% of the unit before you have a chance of taking some smaller number of extra casualties.
Yeah, so it's like the mob rule, but it works a little bit different now with this morale.
And the second one was, I said, the commissar, if you're in range of a commissar, the unit will only ever suffer one casualty to morale. Because that's the guy he shoots.
Yeah.
They auto-pass, he blasts one guy.
Regarding morale, I found that building squads in 5-man squad, 5-man,
squads.
because you can just take, again I'll go back to the scale, just 2 5-man squads, but both can go in a Chimera. So why would you ever take one 10-man squad?
No.
You take 2 5, then
Your
your
only
opponent
benefit
either has to
is-
overkill them 5, or they don't just quite finish them off, so you get left with, one man. So that one man can only maximum ever be -4 to his leadership. So he has still got a good chance of staying in the fight. Then if he passes, he's fearless
He just
forever.
he just sits there throwing
He just
grenades
sits
for the rest
there,
of the
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
He just runs around, just being an annoyance.
Oh, he does.
Or
Simple
you should have seen it. He shot a squad of Scions.
Bellator wandered up and went like smite and killed like all but one guy from this squad. So he kept the sergeant alive,
How
obviously.
many more wounds did you inflict on that unit?
It was at the
2
time.
psychic powers, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it was like.
So he got like a 2 on each.
Yeah.
So like
to
just
fuck.
4 guys.
No,
you
you killed 2 with smite, then 2 with infernal gaze.
The average
So it
is
left-
3 to 4.
So it left the sergeant. He's leadership 7. So I needed a 3 or less. Rolled a 1. I was like, fine. So he stayed there.
This guy
Now
So-
here's the most annoying thing. So the rest of the game, this guy was on the first floor of the building, and everything else that was around him was beasts, cavalry, or like monsters. So nothing could engage him because
the Seekers came running over. So he threw a Craig grenade at them, caused 2 wounds, killed it instantly. Some demon hits came running by, and he was just like, "Nah, I'm not gonna leave this building." Threw a frag grenade at them, killed 3.
Be'lakor decided to ignore him because Be'lakor's like, "I'm not wasting the time and effort to kill
you're
this
not
guy."
worth my
So he threw a frag grenade at Be'lakor, but that bounced off his save. And this one guy was just stood in the building, and then he was there at the end of the game, and he just like killed 2 Seekers and like 4 demon hits through just going grenade.
And he's just like, this little guy just been a dick. Just like, just die. I can't spare the resources to deal with you, and you're not inflicting enough damage that I actually need to redirect anything to you, but you're still inflicting damage, and it's just piss annoying.
I think James Blake thought that about my chaplain, and Kyle as well. The way the chaplain was just like, I need that unit of 20 orcs dead, because they'll kill my veteran squad, so I'm going to charge this predator in first, and then my chaplain. Chaplain's obviously going to be activated first, but he did nothing, and the predator were like, alright, 6s to hit, re-rolling, or 2 cool.
I've done that. I've charged Rhino. I charged a Rhino into a load of plague. In fact, I've charged Chimeras into Bloodletters because they're running across the board quite quick. So I'll drive these Chimeras over, flame them, burn a lot of them. Chimeras then hit them, stuck them into combat while I could then tie up some other stuff, and then they're just...
Here's the thing that I can't get my head around though with the stupid Chimeras, right? So the Lazare on the back. It's just 2 weapons that are both rapid fire free.
Yeah.
Right? Makes sense. 3 shots long, 6 shots close.
What are you going to bring up here?
Yeah. Now, the Lazares can fire so long as there are any number of passengers in the tank.
Are you going to say there's one guy in the tank and he's fighting all 6 of the arrays with like octopus arms or something?
Gets better than that.
Yes. Right? That is exactly what the case is. There's one guy in the back who is manning 2 different Lazares firing different sides of the tank at multiple targets. This one man in this battle is an astropath.
They're
so
blind.
His mind's in the wall.
Yeah. They're blind. They have no eyes. Alright, now to add to this, so the argument of astropaths is what they actually see because they see people's souls. They see their sparks in the warp. You know, that's how they identify where they are. They have rules that literally one of their powers is they deny people's cover saves because they know where they are behind the cover.
Yeah,
because they just see their souls.
So it's like Neo.
Right? Of all the armies it was fighting demons. So, 1, they probably don't have the souls to be seen, and 2, even if they do, he's not going to be concentrating enough to fire las weaponry at
They
them.
are scary.
Because he's a psychic when I made a demon manifestation area.
Oh my god, I'd love to see what that looks
Yeah,
like.
but
Holy shit.
You know the best one war? The 2 astropaths that were in the back of the tanks were in charging chimeras.
They were
driving into the...
I bet he has some coarse words for the driver. No.
Well, he probably hopped out, right? Like
then he hopped out later on, and one of them went to smite, and one of them did a save, and then I was like, I'll charge him into some demon, but they all died.
Well, yeah, to be fair, charging Astropath into some demon.
Astropaths are awesome though. So I'm running an army of Scions which give you -2 to your save. Oh, look at that, you've gone into cover to effectively make me only have -1 to your save. So I'll just use this ability to just turn off your cover to all units within 6 inches of me. Take the full -2 to your armor.
He's a secret Imperial Fist.
But he has the psychic power, so smite you cast on a 5 up, so you're like, nah, probably not going to try and smite. But the other psychic powers off the list he chooses from, he just casts as normal. So you just go, yeah, I'll just give a unit +1 to the save.
Yeah. So
that tank, I don't want to die, have a 2-up save.
He's a buff. That's what he is, a buff monster.
For 21 points.
Yeah. Goes around helping you.
The Astropath is a prime example of a unit from the last edition which did naff all, was useless, you never bothered paying points for it, it didn't achieve anything. So now being useful, interesting, you get to use a nice model, got some nice narrative reasons to have got Astropath running around.
Really good. Whoever converted them's a genius.
And you don't have. Like you don't need to take one for your army to be good.
No.
But you also, if you take one because you like them,
21 points and he's got 4 wounds.
Yeah. It's like if you like them and you want to take one, he's also not gonna do nothing just because you want to include him.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's this perfect balance of getting things.
Yeah, it's the same with like bringing it up against chaplains.
Given these ridiculous blind astropaths firing laser rays, what was it you referenced earlier? Silly chaplains inspiring predators.
Predators
so,
in charge.
Yeah. So one of the questions that I was going to ask as well to bring up was, what has been your favourite moment so far? Not necessarily like best success or anything, just favourite moment. And I'll start with this one because I know exactly what mine is. Right. I just have to share this because I love this so much. Play with my Imperial Guard. And I have a company commander, and I've always been a big fan of Nog Dead Dog, the Ogrin bodyguard. Right?
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, I've told you this because it's so funny. I
just
just
love
love
it.
it. So, my opponent was using a Vindicator Assassin, and he's just really got excited recently about the new sniper rule and the ability to pick out characters. And he really wanted to have this big chance to play against my Imperial Guard, where I've got like commissars, platoon commanders, company commanders. I've got characters for days just running around in my army. So it seems like the perfect environment for a sniper to go and pick that character. They're all lightly armoured, low wounds, like they're not firing space marines.
Yeah.
So his turn 1, he pops up the Vindicator Assassin somewhere he needs it for a good line of sight at my army, and asks me, right, which one's your actual company commander, which one's your warlord? And I hadn't planned this because his Vindicator wasn't on the field and I moved my models around, so he could have appeared anywhere he wanted on the table.
Yeah.
And I said, right, it's this guy right here. He goes, cool, I'll pick him out. And I sort of just paused for a moment because obviously I had my bodyguard with him, so Dead Dog stood nearby to be able to try and soak up some wounds in his for him. And I just looked at the line of sight and I was like, the Vindicator can't see him. Because the Ogrin was exactly on the line of sight, and you physically couldn't see the company commander. He was stood behind the bodyguard, who was like 3 times the size of him. And it doesn't matter that you've got the special rule to be able to pick out a target, because you physically couldn't see the target. So this Ogrin bodyguard just stood there taking shots for the commander.
Massive right now. Ogrin just like, nope, you're not getting shot.
And it was so perfect from a narrative point of view, where I love the idea that Dead Dog's just there, so like leaning over the commander going, come on Colonel, come on, I'll keep you safe, just taking shots in his shoulder and just not caring. It's just like, protect the Colonel. And it was a go-to moment of like, well, the rules are this, so I'm going to pick him out and do this. And you actually looked at the situation and sort of looked at it through the lens of narrative as well, and you're like, that doesn't work. That like, this happens. There's this guy stood in the way, and it's just
physically can't see him.
Yeah, as the fact that the rules accommodate for that sort of gameplay now is brilliant, and I just love that. Yeah. That's my favourite moment of 8th edition that I've played so far.
One of my favourite moments at the minute was actually playing in studio when I was trying out the Primus Psyker, and you decided that he needed to die, so a squad of 5 TAC Marines took him on.
Good old tactical Marines.
And he killed them all.
Yep.
With didn't die to his attacks, because as we said earlier, they don't have any attacks.
Dropped into 1 wound though.
Yeah,
killed. He's got 4 wounds.
Killed one of them in the combat.
Yeah.
Then it went to my turn, and he did smite and killed 2 more. Then the company commander who were running past went, actually, I'll issue an order, you can fight again, mate. Killed 1 more, and then it came down to the combat in my turn, but I got to pick the combats out. I got to pick the combats out of charges in sequence, so I picked him first, and he just pokes the sergeant in the face with his staff. I'm like, cool, I've just killed 5 tactical Marines.
Yep.
Promptly then got gunned down when he became open and there was no one else around him to protect him.
Yeah, that bike wanted him very dead for retribution, so he got biked, and then that bike burnt him.
Like plasma death. But I was just like, wow, just a Primus guy, not a Primus Marine. It just must be a Primus thing.
I think that
just Marines can't take on Primus. That's what it is.
That's just the final nail in the coffin of tactical Marines just being bollocks. Is that what I think is a good word for it?
It's this weird thing where I don't think they're bad. It's just they're very clearly not good.
When you look at the points, to them, they're like
scouts. cheaper.
So you'll
Sick
So you do like a squad. So you'll cut a Primus Marines. They're not that much more to a normal Space Marine to get extra attack per guy, extra wound per guy, which really matters with morale because you're taking wounds off guys, not just full guys dying. The guns have got a longer range, better minus to the save, so they just feel all around better. I know they don't have the options of the transports that the normal Marines do, and I think they've done that on purpose because otherwise you would never take normal Marines.
Never take tax, no.
You know,
put Primus in Rhinos, I would say.
and when you look at like other stuff like compared to Guardsmen, you know exactly what you expect from a squad of Guardsmen.
They might get lucky and kill
They might kill some stuff, but you've got them there because that's the thing with Guard. Marines, you put a squad of Marines down and you expect them to do something. Like they encounter a squad of 10 Guardsmen now, bolt gun them, and the Guardsmen go, yeah, hang on, we'll take us 5 up saves.
Black Armour is good.
Black Armour's brilliant because a Primaris Marine gives him a save.
We could talk about lore, but nothing really massively has come up in the new lore recently. Like,
I haven't
we know
read the
Mortarian's
new lore
on his
yet.
way, but that's
I haven't
about it.
read the new lore yet. That'd be something that I've got the new Marine book, but I haven't read it because I've been on with enjoying my Guard so much.
I need the new Marine book. I need to get it end of month, shall we?
I need to have a look at the new Chaos Marine one. Just most of the two like demon engines and stuff
I
I
need
like
them
in there.
both. It's like Games Workshop. Might as well just take my wallet off me.
How good is it though that the like double announcement on a codex? I've been playing this game for like over a decade.
That's
and
never
I've
happened.
Never seen a release of Mortal Kombat. The closest he got was when they announced Demons the first time, and they went, "Here's the Fantasy Army book on the same release day as the 40k."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, they did release Tyranids about 50,000 times.
And
Every other month there's a new codex.
The rubbish
but the thing is, the weekend that these two codexes come out, like the weekend the Marine book came out, these two codexes got announced.
What can we expect to be announced like next week?
And they've said that they're doing 10 codexes before Christmas.
Minimum.
So
They specified minimum, so they might do more.
So this is up to 3.
3 codexes base.
And we're in what?
Supposedly,
middle of August, so we've got September, October, November.
And then you've got
December. So
there's at least 4
there's 4
months
months
coming out by then.
So if they bring out 2 codexes a month, that's 8. So I think every 2 weeks you're going to be looking at a new codex coming out.
Yeah, step up the game like they have been doing.
I mean, that'll get us out of the indexes a lot quicker than people anticipated. I was not expecting to be out of indexes within 6 months. Like, for all armies.
No, I was expecting like a year to maybe
years.
2 years.
All my armies could be basically out of indexes by the time Guard comes out, whenever that is. Because I've got Guard, Grey Knights, Marines, Chaos.
Supposedly Guard and like one of the next ones on the pipeline. After
Guard are meant to be
Guard and Eldar, I think it is, or like Craft World.
I know,
think
I'm
it's supposed to be the next ones. Which, to be fair,
that'll be
the Craft World one's a bit more debatable, but I can entirely see why they do Guard next. They're literally like, there you go, here's your Marines, here's your Marines, here's your Grey Knights, fine. You know, Marines and a non-Codex Marines, and then Guard and a Xenos. Then you'll get another non-Codex Marines and something. Then it'll be something and something.
Yeah, because there's many
non-Codex Marines and something.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting if when they release the Sisters one, if that might actually be one of the first 8th edition new Army Rangers.
Yeah, if they bring out...
Because when you actually look at the armies on the shelf, we've redone a lot of them over the last couple of years.
I mean, the true
and
new
the
army...
only one that doesn't really look it, or even to buy, is Sisters.
You would never want to buy it.
Because Necrons were the last super overhaul, and then before that it was Dark Eldar.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, I love the new Necron overhaul. I've been meaning to do Necrons for years, since the overhaul. I've just got my hands on some now.
Well,
and
yeah,
I haven't played my first game with them yet.
The old one, when they came out, you had Warriors and Destroyers and a Monolith. That were literally it. And now that they brought it all out, you've got Immortals, you've got 8th edition again, everything's useful.
So yeah, there's going to be all sorts coming out in the coming weeks. It's surprising how quickly they've actually going to be turning stuff around. It was honestly a surprise announcement though, 2 codexes at once. Before the other one had even gone on the shelf. It was the weekend that the Marine book hit the shelf was the weekend they announced that you were going up for pre-order the following week. You know, it's just like, wow, 2-week turnarounds for 2 codexes. That's unheard of.
So I'm anticipating is it this weekend
they come out?
So
We'll
I wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised if they're then saying your next codex is.
It'll be these two, and just so we always know what the next thing is.
One hits the shelf, one gets announced, one hits the shelf.
So yeah, so while we're very much looking forward to, you know, getting more and more into the hobby and all these new releases and stuff, and you've heard a few of our thoughts on the new edition since we've played it, but we'd love to hear from you guys as well, so feel free to leave any comments. Give us any topics you want us to talk about or anything you'd like us to discuss. We'll be happy to do that as well. And if you've liked the video and if you want to hear more from us and here at Vox Chatter, then don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to my channel, or even follow me on Twitter at Count Hillary. So yeah, until next time, guys, thanks for listening, and we will talk to you later.
Catch you later.
See you later.
Bye.